Whispers across the balcony. In the heart of a bustling city, where the hum of life never seemed to quieten, two apartment buildings stood side by side. Their balconies overlooked a narrow alley, close enough that one could exchange a quiet word, a smile, or even a lingering gaze. It was from these balconies that a love story began, a love as fragile as it was forbidden. Myra lived in one of these apartments. Married to a man, a successful businessman, she had a life that looked perfect from the outside. Yet, inside, she often felt like a shadow of herself. A man was a good man, but his long hours and ambition left Myra lonely. She filled her days with books, tending to her small garden, and sipping tea on her balcony during the golden hours of the evening. Across the alley, Kabir had recently moved in. An artist with an old soul, Kabir spent his evenings on his balcony, sketching as the sun dipped below the horizon. He noticed Myra before she noticed him, the way she tilted her head while reading, the delicate care she gave her plants, and the wistfulness in her eyes when she thought no one was watching. Their first exchange was simple. One evening, Kabir offered her a smile, and Myra, startled, returned it. The next day, he spoke. "Nice plants," he said, pointing to the vibrant flowers on her balcony. "Thank you," she replied, brushing a stray lock of hair behind her ear. "They're my little escape." Soon, their interactions became regular. What started as casual comments about the weather or the street vendors below grew into longer conversations. Kabir would share stories of his travels and the inspiration behind his art. Myra found herself laughing more than she had in years. One evening, as the first drops of rain began to fall, Kabir held up a thermos. "Want to try my tea? I promise it's better than yours." Myra laughed, a sound that sent warmth coursing through Kabir's chest. "I doubt it, but maybe one day." The rain fell harder, and Kabir, emboldened, said, "Or you could come over now and see for yourself." Myra hesitated, her heart racing. "That wouldn't be appropriate." "Tea is just tea," he said softly, though his eyes told a different story. Myra stayed on her balcony that evening, but her thoughts were with Kabir. There was a pull she couldn't deny, a feeling she hadn't experienced in years. One afternoon, when Myra's mother fell ill, Kabir found her crying on her balcony. Without a word, he reached over the narrow divide, his hand brushing hers. "I'm here," he said simply. The warmth of his touch sent a shiver through her. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice breaking. It was the first time she had felt truly seen in a long time. As the days passed, Kabir became her confidant. When a man was too busy to notice her struggles, Kabir listened. Their connection deepened, unspoken but undeniable. One evening, Kabir invited her to see his latest painting. Myra hesitated, but her curiosity won. She stepped into his apartment for the first time, her heart pounding. The room was filled with canvases, each one capturing moments of life and emotion. But it was the painting in the center that stole her breath. It was her, sitting on her balcony, the soft glow of the sunset framing her figure. "You see me like this?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. "I see you," he replied, stepping closer. "All of you." Their faces were inches apart, and for a moment, Myra forgot everything, her marriage, her fears, the world outside. Kabir leaned in, and she didn't stop him. Their lips met, hesitant at first but then deepening into a kiss that spoke of longing, passion, and a love they both knew was impossible. The kiss changed everything. Myra tried to pull away, guilt and desire warring within her. "I shouldn't, we can't," she stammered. "I know," Kabir said, his voice heavy with emotion. "But that doesn't change how I feel about you." Myra returned to her apartment, her mind and heart in turmoil. She loved a man in her way, but with Kabir, she felt alive in a way she hadn't in years. In the weeks that followed, Myra avoided Kabir, though her heart ached with every stolen glance. Kabir respected her distance but couldn't help leaving a small sketch on her balcony one morning, a drawing of two hands almost touching, a silent reminder of what they had shared. Myra kept the sketch hidden, tucked away like the memory of their kiss. She threw herself into rebuilding her marriage, hoping to fill the void Kabir had exposed. Kabir, meanwhile, poured his heart into his art, creating a series of paintings that told their story without words. His exhibit, Whispers Across the Balcony, became a sensation, though only he and Myra knew its true meaning. Though they lived just a balcony apart, they became strangers again.